Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Apollo Show. I'm your host, Apollo, and I am here with the beautiful Lana Smalls. How you going?
Lana Smalls. I'm great. We just did terrible things to each other.
We did, and it was...
We nutted.
we did.
High-fived.
It was so good.
I swallowed that
It was amazing.
I licked your face clean.
I actually loved that you were really into my because I sweat a lot, and I sometimes get self-conscious about how much I sweat.
I love a sweaty guy.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Perfect. I
it's
could
like
tell.
more
Loved it.
pheromones. It's like a little aperitif.
What do they
Is that
call
what
it
they
when
call it?
someone's into smells?
I don't even know, honestly. It just makes me feel like animalistic.
Yeah,
Give it
right?
to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's a certain...
They have a word for it?
Apparently, it's a type of person who is into... Let's Google that right now.
Oh, my goodness.
What is this? Olfactophilia. Olfactophilia. Osmolagnia is a paraphilia for or for smells and odors emanating from the body. So you're an...
Olfactophiliac.
Oh, yeah, exactly. What she said, everyone. What she said. Mate, how long have you been in industry for now?
I think 3 years.
So 2021.
Well, I guess I was doing work in 2020, but I didn't do mainstream stuff until 2021.
When you say you were doing work, was that OnlyFans style stuff? Yep, cool. Awesome. Like everyone, I guess, during COVID, the COVID era, especially here. I'm assuming you were in LA at that time?
I was actually in Portland.
Okay.
I was in college, and I was a broke college girl at one point, and I was like so not down to move back in with my parents because of COVID. I did really start because I wanted to be able to afford expensive cheese, because what they were feeding us at the college was not good.
Not good, no.
Not good. And I totally I'm a for a brie cheese, and it's an expensive habit to have.
Absolutely.
So
Gotta make that cheddar.
Yeah, I needed the cheddar for the cheese.
Right?
So I started doing work, and
Yep.
I kind of wiggled my way through, and then eventually I had met someone who was like, you should do mainstream. And I was like, that sounds so scary. And then I did it, and I actually was not scared at all. I was honestly pretty excited.
Great.
Yeah. I feel like I tend to just jump into things like pretty easily, and I actually don't get the nervousness.
That's a great skill to have, the ability to go into something without like crazily overthinking and creating that anxiety.
Yeah, I don't think I get scared of things anymore. I don't feel fear to a certain extent, which I don't know if that's a wonderful thing. I just went skydiving, and not a single shred of anxiety or anything. I was
incredible.
like driving there, and I was like, I'm going to take a nap while my friend was the one driving. And then we're like in the plane, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting hungry. And then...
That's amazing. You see, I would be like freaking the out the
absolutely
entire
nothing.
way.
Even the jump, like the very first jump, like you're supposed to get like a thing. And that was my first time doing a backflip. That was a cool thing to me.
You did a backflip out of the plane?
I did a backflip out of the plane. I've never done a backflip before.
Were you joined to someone?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I totally, made some little jokes. And at first he was not with it. And then after he realized I wasn't, a loser weenie and I was actually, down for this he liked me. But in the beginning, you're, strapped to this person and their balls is against your So I was
the guy hot?
No, little old grandpa. Not really grandpa, but he had energy, and I was like, I have little old grandpa energy. This is good. But at one point, we're in the plane, and he straps me really tight to him, and I look at him, and I'm like, I feel so close to you right now. And he was like, we're not doing this, little lady. And I was like, you just wait. You just wait, buddy. We're going to jump out of this plane together, and you're going to realize how cool I am.
Yeah.
And then he totally liked me. I gave him my Instagram after.
Oh, brilliant.
And I was like, just so you know, if you have a wife or anything, you don't want to do this. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you know, she can't see my Instagram.
Yeah, just so you don't get hit with a frying pan when you get home or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is up, people? Are you ready to elevate your health game? If so, then listen up. Introducing to you BLCKWAVE Supplements, your go-to destination for holistic supplements that cater to both men and women. Designed to optimize your entire system. Whether you're looking to enhance focus, libido support, or to revitalize your overall well-being, BLCKWAVE has got you covered. Head to their website, www.blckwave.com, and try their wide range of holistic supplements, ranging from their 2 flagship products, their cognitive support, Brain Force 1, designed to help skyrocket your focus as your productivity goes through the roof, and their male libido support supplement, AlphaMale, male enhancement, designed to help you unleash your inner beast. Ladies, do you also want to reignite some heat back into the relationship? Well, BLCKWAVE also offers horny goat weed to ignite your passion and help enhance your libido. And here's a cherry on top. Use my promo code WAVE20 at the checkout for an exclusive 20% off your purchase on the website. So what are you waiting for? Join the BLCKWAVE revolution today. Are you sick of scouring the hub looking for something authentic? Well, MyOF has exactly what you're looking for. Real girls having a real good time. Exclusive behind the scenes, 50% off your first month, and over 100 videos ready to watch on the feed as part of your subscription, with weekly new releases from both homegrown Australian talent and overseas professionals you know and love. It's an amateur's paradise. Go check out the website in my bio and follow the links to the Apollo Show X. Wanted to see me, myself, and my D? Same website in bio, but look for the Apollo Show solo. Enjoy, guys.
Vibes. Well, not getting scared at all that's got to be some sort of condition, because
That's what I was worried about.
like not in a bad way.
No,
I guess.
it was kind
not
of
unless
bad.
like, well,
It's a little bit bad because I realized when I got it, when I landed and everything, and I still didn't feel anything, nothing hit me, and I was just like, I don't fear death at all. I don't
that's incredible.
That's not necessarily a good thing, because now I'm like, am I just like super wasteful with my life? Do I just like, am I okay? Is my Zoloft working a little too well? Like,
What's Zoloft? Sorry,
it's an antidepressant and like
Right.
anti-anxiety.
Well, I mean, that could be part of that
That's
equation,
what I'm thinking
for sure.
too. I'm like, am I just a f***ing zombie? But a part of me was just like, I don't fear death at all.
Did you used to have fear? Like, do you remember fear from like before you were on medication, or have you been like medicated for long enough you can't really remember beforehand?
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely had many times in my life where I've been scared, but I think the thing is that I've almost died so many times.
What?
That I just,
Wow.
at that point, like now I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to be like a thrill seeker until like I actually am dying. And then I'm like, oh, it is happening. Like, I don't think that feeling is coming back anytime
All right.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
After a certain amount of times of like near-death experiences, you're just kind of like, well,
I kind of have to pull the lid off this can.
yeah, how
here.
did I almost die?
Like, what are these near-death experiences? I've had
Okay.
one where I nearly stepped off the curb once while I was shamefully texting.
I've done that
and
as
a bus
well.
literally grazed my toe.
Yep.
As it was like a wall in front of me, like zzz, as it
Yep.
like steamed past me. I was like,
Dude,
1 millisecond less, I would have literally been sent 50 meters that way, scraped across the pavement.
Pancake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did that once too. It was like a big old truck. The two big instances, and I've had a couple other like minor ones where it's like, maybe she's gonna die, maybe not, I don't know. But the two big ones were like almost bleeding to death both times. Once when I was mauled by a dog and I was bleeding out on the concrete. And crazy. This lady was like slapping me in the face to keep me conscious because she was nervous like with the blood loss that if I like fell asleep then I would go into like a coma or something.
Yeah.
And then the second time, I had a never-ending period for 2 months. My very first period lasted 2 months.
Do you know what's crazy?
This is a common experience.
You know what's crazy? I was literally, as you said, nearly bled to death. I was going to make a joke. I was going to be like,
No, tampons
crazy
work
period,
for her. Yep.
crazy period. And then
Yep.
I was like, maybe that's cutting it too far for this.
No, you're allowed
We're trying to be
make
serious
these jokes.
here.
Oh, no, we can make these jokes. I have to make
So
these
it actually
jokes.
was your period. That is
It was my
hilarious.
period.
and not.
Insane, right? Worst
So that was your first period ever.
My first period ever lasted 2 months. I bled through. I would wear giant tampons, the jumbo pads. I was basically like walking in a diaper. And I was dying. I was bleeding out. And I remember going to like primary doctor twice and was like, I can't stop bleeding. I've bled onto every mattress in my family's house. Every mattress I bled through. I bled through the mattress protector and right into that. I remember one time it was so bad and I felt so bad leaving a trail of blood stains around my house that I had slept in a bathtub. My dad woke up and was like, where the is she? Like, what happened? Is she okay? And then he finds me like in a bathtub and I'm just like sitting there with my pillow. Sorry, I don't know what else to do.
Like, for anyone who's just listening, you're very small. Like, you're not, it's not like you've got a lot of blood.
No.
And I'm assuming when you first got your period, that would have been when you were like 13.
I was like 14, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And you would have been smaller than you are now. So, like, what's the
I was like 80 pounds,
what's
dude.
the fix for that? Did it just pound you full of, like, hormones to stop it, or what?
So, yes, I was, at one point, that was when I had my first seizure. I had a seizure in the shower from the blood loss, and I was, like, honestly, past anemia at that point. It's just, like, that's, like, cutting off someone's leg, and it's just, like, spewing out.
Did you have to get...
a blood transfusion? Yes. I did. I had a seizure, went to the hospital. They were like, oh, she's going to die. So then they gave me a blood transfusion, I think like 2 maybe. And then they put me on just like a estrogen birth control, and I cannot go off of it or else I'll just keep bleeding. Yeah, I tried going off of it one time in college and tried doing the shot because I was like, you know, I'm a party girl. Maybe I like don't want the responsibility of a pill. So I tried doing the shot. Bled to death again. It's like, okay, we're going to stick on this because I guess I just need the extra estrogen. So I cannot go off birth control, which is awesome because I do not plan on being a mother. I do not plan on being a mother.
Yeah,
Stay
right.
the away from me with your fertile That's not really a love of but still.
Absolutely.
Blah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like keen for kids either right now. Like, give me. But you know what? 10 years ago, I was like, give me 10 years. And even right now, I'm like, give me 10 years.
No, I like
feel
having money.
Yeah.
I like having money that I can throw away at myself or to my friends.
Yeah.
But like, I having a baby means like having an extra $2 million that you're just like down to throw away.
I don't even care about the money. It's the time and effort. Like my dog, I love her, but I can put her out the back and be like, I'll see you in 8 hours drunk.
Yes.
See you, dude.
Yeah. No, same with my cats. It's like they have all their toys and their cat trees and stuff. I have my roommates. A baby, I can't just like pass to my roommate and be like, hey, can you feed it at this time?
No.
Like, that is a job.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, I'm not meant for that. I also like with my OCD and the intrusive thoughts, like, I can't be trusted. I get intrusive thoughts a lot around babies. Like I'll see a newborn and I'm like, what if you just punched it right now? And I know that it is like, it's a symptom of OCD or a million other things. People get intrusive thoughts all the time. I'm not going to punch a baby.
Allegedly, it's normal. Not punching the baby,
No, but
intrusive
thoughts.
Yes.
Totally normal. I mean, you're driving near a cliff and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a very normal thing. It's a very human thing to have intrusive thoughts. But it has scared me enough where I'm like, do not come near me with a newborn baby. Because the fact that I even think it scares the
You just feel
me.
yourself like your friend comes over with their bikini, you feel yourself clenching your fish, like, no.
Yeah,
no.
I like see it coming up and I don't even notice it. It has like a mind of its own.
You've just like practiced that in your head so many times, it becomes a reality.
Oh my God, yeah, I've traumatized myself enough.
Yeah,
that
fair
I'm
play.
Just not gonna happen. Not anytime soon. No, thank you.
You do a lot of stuff, right? Like you spend a lot of time on like, what's that brand? Kink?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did my second shoot with them. I haven't done too many. They were my dream company since I first started.
Right.
Dream company.
So what would your
Number
thing
one goal.
be? Like what would your, congratulations by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. What would my thing be? What do you mean, like certain apps
Yeah, like
that
what's
I
your
enjoy?
kink? Like what are the, like when you go on like on a kink set, like what kind of stuff are you doing? You use to a table and
Yeah,
and
being
stuff or
I love to be my biggest thing with like my biggest fear, actually, which hard for me to reach at times, but
right.
my biggest fear, I want to like the anticipation of not knowing what they're gonna do to you. I had someone like recently that I was hooking up with like blindfold me and put like earplugs in my ear with like this like bimbo hypnotization playlist, and I like couldn't hear what he was gonna do to me next, and I was just like shaking, like so afraid of like, what is he gonna put something in my what the So I love the fear. So a lot of it is like consensual, non-consent stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just so hard to find people to do that safely with.
It terrifies me. Girls have asked me before for CNC.
Oh, I can understand as a man, it's probably very scary. You don't want to like accidentally hurt someone or like have them like enjoy it and then maybe be like really like, maybe I'm triggered by this later. Like, yeah.
You have to do it with someone that you very much trust.
You have to, there has to be so much trust in that relationship. It's not something you can do with just anyone. You can't do it just for like a scene and then be like, okay, bye. This was a great first time meeting. Yeah, that has to be with someone like you like already love and trust. At least for me, like I cannot allow that mindset to be with a stranger.
No, just because you're going so far for...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pushing your boundaries. You want someone who can like read you and read your body language and know when enough is enough.
Yeah.
When you don't necessarily know, like now I'm very good. I was like practicing around with that in the past in very unsafe environments with unsafe people who actually just wanted to assault me and it wasn't like a thing, you know?
That sounds rough.
It's not good. But like, so like learning from those experiences, I'm like, okay, well, I was a dumb and now I'm going to only do it this way with like, and I'm going to say like my safe words if I need to. Like, I very much understand my boundaries with that stuff now.
Yeah.
But Kink is definitely one of those companies where I actually feel like I can explore that in like a safe way. My first one with Tommy Pistol was amazing. Oh my God. Shout out Tommy. I love you. He was awesome. He was really good at like the, like when enough was enough and like kind of checking in between takes and stuff. And he was able to go like full force with like everything I asked for. Like the degradation I thought was really fun. I told him beforehand, I was like, tell me my and then it's loose as hell and pointless. Like you can't even feel shit. There's no point in me. Like tell me it is just the worst you've ever had in your life. Because I'm very confident about my
And
She's
you're like...
beautiful. She's great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Awesome.
It is.
So
Absolutely.
I'm like, I think it's really funny to just be like, it's ugly and stupid. No one likes you. I'm just like, that does something to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Nice.
It was a nice time.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, I have a question for you. When did you start and why?
So I started during COVID. I used to own a...
You were COVID baby too.
Yeah, so I used to own a gym in a place called Canberra.
You would own a gym.
Yeah, I was a personal trainer for 12 years.
Buff boy.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I like to work on it. but that was like only like paying the bills. And I was in Canberra's very cold in winter, very cold. Very cold most months except summer. Like every month is like you need to be wearing a long sleeve and pants.
Oh, I love
I
that.
hate that.
Oh,
See, I like where I live is like similar weather to LA, but it's a cleaner city, Brisbane. So I
I
moved.
think everywhere is a cleaner city than LA.
Yes, yes, correct. But I moved to Brisbane when my lease was up at this gym, and my business partner kept the gym, kept the debt. I walked away debt free with a goal to go and start my life in Brisbane doing gym stuff, which I did, and then COVID hit my business. Just fried it because like I was new to the city, so they were new clients, so everyone was just like, see ya. But I started OnlyFans because I was doing TikTok and Instagram Reels as like a hobby.
Oh, I bet they loved you.
it. They loved it because I was really ripped at that time because I was training for something just before COVID hit. So I had like a rippling six pack. So I had like a huge gay following who basically funded my like entire lifestyle during COVID. And yeah.
And you're hot. You got nice hair, good mustache.
Yeah, doing my
Great
best.
nose. I'm a
Thank
big
you.
fan of noses.
Never heard someone say I have a great nose.
You have a
Thank
great
you.
nose. You have a
Appreciate
good,
it.
strong nose.
I do.
You have a fertile nose.
Thank you.
You have a nose that could conquer a world.
You can nose anytime.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I started and why I started, and it's kind of just gone step by step ever since. Like, I do it from Australia, and the reason I'm here is because like everyone I work with in Australia is great, but I feel
You
like
have to widen the variety.
Well, I feel like if you talk to 100 people on the street and you say, hey, who is your favourite to look up online? It's almost never an Australian girl.
Yeah.
It's someone who's
who lives
working
here.
from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
if you can get yourself to a position where you can start working with the bigger names, it creates bigger business.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mind you, if there are popular girls back home who don't even have... Some girls who don't have a big following just have a lot of adorers.
Yeah.
Like a lot of men who are like, I want to see that So, like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, you know, girls with, like, no followings or whatever don't do well sometimes, but it's just, like, yeah, you can't argue with the numbers.
Who you work with is, like, how you market in this
Definitely.
industry. It's not always like, oh, I think you're sexy and want to have sex. I mean, definitely there's, like, people I work with who I'm like, I just feel like we have great chemistry and it looks good, so it works. But they don't have, like, a following that's going to, like, necessarily bring so many fans to me. I'm almost like kind of bringing stuff to them, but it works because it looks nice and we enjoy ourselves and we're safe. But it really is important to find like the people that are bigger than you and be like, me on camera, give me a shot. You know, if you need any like prep or like any heads up on what to do on set, how it's going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, drink your water.
I've got that covered.
That's pretty, yeah, I mean, all you have to do is not be a piece of shit and be hydrated and healthy, and I think you'll be just fine.
Cool.
And I think you've got all of those covered. So,
Yeah, I do.
yeah,
I do. I think my anxiety comes from like nutting on cue with a bunch of men looking at me.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
usually where the issue is.
Yeah. If they're like, right, you did great with everything, everything's great, okay, let's and we've got 5 minutes, take your time. And,
Yeah.
But like it might take me like 15 minutes of hard
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just my body.
Yeah.
So I'm like really, and then if someone's looking at me and I'm like waiting for me, and you start thinking of that, then you start prolonging it.
And then if the girl is also like not like comfortable with off-camera sex, which is totally fine. Sometimes I don't want to have sex off camera with my co-stars because I'm just like, I need to save my energy. I got sleep disorder. I'm going to bed.
Yep.
But then it's like this awkward thing of you like watching mess.
Yeah, see, that all sounds like an actual nightmare to me.
Yeah, it's awkward. It's real awkward.
So besides that, if I had this like skill, like I'm sure there are men out there that literally can just be like, all right, I'm just gonna step over here for 10 seconds, a minute, and just close my eyes, think of something sexy, and then I can bring myself to the brink and then step back into the thing. I really respect those guys.
There's a handful, but it definitely isn't like a common talent. I would say most male talent have to like really work. Basically, the whole scene is them working towards like that perfect pop shot. So it's like, I think it's like a practice. It's training.
Well, you know what's funny? Like up until... so about 6 months ago, I realised that I had this thing where I wasn't really... I was like, I haven't standing up almost like ever. Like I would always laying down in a certain position or like me on my back with the girl on top or me on top of the girl in some way, man blanket style. But then I was like, if I'm on like set, they'll be like, you need to be standing and come so aggressively.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
that I literally can lose my legs. My legs start to buckle underneath me.
Yeah.
So I actually, after last trip, was like, okay, if I'm at any chance of like, to be confident to do a mainstream shoot eventually, I need to be able to be confident standing up. So anyway, I was doing all this like training where I would like
up and like trying to...
like in the shower and be like, okay, where am I most comfortable? I mean, I'm most comfortable in the shower. Okay, so I'm gonna go like no stimulus, like no. I'm just gonna time myself and see how long it takes me to go from like flaccid to standing up. And I got there in like 7.5, 8 minutes.
Okay.
First time.
That's
Or maybe it
great.
was 10 minutes and then I brought it down to 7. But anyway.
Yeah.
But then I broke my It's like literally snapped my half.
No.
Oh, dude, that's a whole thing. Yeah, so...
PP injury?
I did.
Oh my
I did.
God.
I f***ed it up. I had to go to the hospital. It was crazy. But I took but then I had to take like 40 days. I say I took 31 days where I didn't touch it at all, which is true. I literally didn't touch it because the nurses were like, 4 to 6 weeks is the time. And they're like, don't touch it as best you can. They're like, we know you might go back early. But in my head, I was like, that. I'm not going back early. I'm going to get this sorted.
Yeah.
So, but even 4 weeks was the bare minimum time. But I say like it was like more like 6 weeks because 2 weeks after that, I like went hard. I like 3 times in a day as soon as I could do it again, and like my a little bit swollen up the next day. I was like, it's obviously ready to be back to full steam ahead. So like I had to like it was crazy. So anyway, my goal to be proficient at standing up on cue has been delayed.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. I really love the idea though of them putting like a little cast on your and then like your friends sign in. And you're like, get better soon.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been
That would have been actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the That's great. That's a great image.
Oh my god, now I want to do like a doctor where like I have like a little cast on your and I'm like, okay, time to saw it off. Sorry.
But that'd be hilarious though. We should make that sketch.
Yeah, I have a friend with like a doctor's office set. We could totally
Really?
do that. Yes.
Yeah, that's sick.
I have friends in everything.
Great. Yeah, well, mainstream makes you a bit nervous, but it's not a no.
Yeah.
It's just a not ready yet.
Yes, not at this moment, but your time will come.
Yeah.
Your time to shine is on its way.
It's incoming.
You're
I can feel it.
blossoming.
Yeah,
You're
I can feel it.
blooming flower.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you do? Like, I ask everyone this, like, what do you do to manage your mental health? So, do you have, like I know I have ups and downs because social media is up and down.
Yeah.
Things don't work out the way you think they're going to work out, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. So, what do you do?
I would say, well, okay, weirdly enough, and this is such an odd thing, I feel like, to most people outside of industry, but my mental health has never been better, like, once I joined. I was so depressed for, like, so much of my life before. Like, college, I could not handle the pressure along with, like, my disability stuff, and just, like, my physical health was terrible, so then, like, my mental health was and I was just to a point where it's like, okay, well, I get this degree and I kill myself, or I, like, drop out and I, like, try to save my life and figure my out. So I dropped out, I started work, and it was just an immediate switch of, like, oh, I can, like, take care of myself now, and, like, not, like, apologize to a professor every day, being like, sorry I was late on this assignment, I was, like, contemplating my death.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to rewind a little bit, because I know what your disability stuff is, and you've just got this amazing skill. I don't know if you call it a skill, but to sleep, like, indefinitely, right?
Incredible skill. I'm like Sleeping Beauty.
So that's like
just brunette.
Yeah, right? So it's like a branch of narcolepsy. What you would call it? Or is it narcolepsy?
No, it's called idiopathic hypersomnia. Basically, they still don't know the cause of it. I'm doing sleep studies, so to help figure the out what's happening. But they think it has to do with, like, the GABA receptor thingy in my brain. But basically, I can sleep forever and never actually feel rested.
Can you imagine that? Like,
awful. I'm always tired.
So it doesn't rejuvenate you at all, but you'll just lose a day. You'll wake up 24 hours later.
Oh, I told you the most I've slept was 3 days. 3 days full.
Wow.
Maybe I woke up to I don't remember, but I was out. Yeah, it's been pretty awful trying to figure that out. Just because it's very hard to feel like a person when you can't do the basic human things, which I know a lot of people with disabilities know that feeling, where it's like, I can't even, like, breathe right. Like, why?
Yep.
I can't. How am I real?
Yep.
So it's really hard. Like
it's easy to get into like a rut of, like, why me?
Oh yeah, and
Yep.
and just rotting, like leaning into it almost.
Yeah.
I think when I first got my diagnosis, I noticed it get worse because I was like, well, now I have an explanation for it. I'm not like a lazy that everyone says I am. I just rotted away for like a week, just sleeping.
Was it positive though, like knowing that it wasn't you just...
Yes, it felt really good. It felt really good knowing that there actually is a reason behind it, and I'm not just like lazy, because so many people shamed me for so long.
They're like, all you want to do is sleep.
They're like, well, just get up. And I'm like,
yeah, right, thanks. Thanks, Mom.
yeah, do you want to tell someone in a wheelchair to walk?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome to do to someone. It's people are so ableist to this day, and it's exhausting trying to explain to them, and it's so tiring. I'm so tired of being tired.
Yeah.
Is really the thing.
That's the worst thing, is that it doesn't rejuvenate you, because the thing is, if I was able to get a rejuvenated... I've got almost the opposite problem. I'll sleep like 4 or 5 hours, you know, and then do like a long sleep every now and again to, like, you know, play catch up.
Yeah.
But if I could get like a 20-hour... If you could get like a 20-hour sleep where it was actually rejuvenating, I would literally be like a walk and I'd be like, I feel incredible.
Yeah.
You never get
I
rejuvenated
haven't
sleep.
felt that in years. I think the last time I actually felt like fully awake was maybe like in middle school, high school, little bit in high school maybe, but yeah, I haven't felt like really there. I mean, I'm just like running on yerba mate every day at this point. The amount of money I've given yerba mate just sponsor me at this point.
I'd never heard of yerba mate. Why don't you give them a plug? What are they?
Oh my god, it's incredible. It doesn't give you coffee smell or coffee breath, which I still love coffee, but you know, before a scene, I'm a so I don't want it to smell like coffee. But it's basically just like this super caffeinated like tea, and they make these little flavored drinks. I like the Blueforia and the mint. The mint is good. Not a big fan of like the raspberry one, but yeah, it's a lot healthier, I feel like, than most energy drinks, or at least I've convinced myself that to make myself feel better about it. For some reason, I'm kind of a hater of Red Bull.
I hate Red Bull.
Yeah.
Mostly because I drank too many vodka.
I do love a vodka.
What are they called?
I love an espresso martini.
Jägermeister, where they chucked a shot in there.
Oh my god, I did that.
And I
so long
vomited
ago.
aggressively. It was like a
Yeah.
spew lightsaber. Zoom.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
So funny.
And now,
yeah.
whenever I drink or smell Red Bull, I think of that coming out of my mouth.
No, that totally makes sense. I actually had a performer who I worked with recently. Like, I like brushed my teeth and everything, but I was like, I'm gonna be having to drink a Red Bull throughout the day. Like, are you okay if we kiss? If like I taste a little bit like Red Bull? And she's like, actually, I really can't. I've done many Jaeger bombs
Yes.
and Red Bull vodkas, and it's ruined me now. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's so fair.
Tastes like medicine.
Why would you do a Jaeger bomb at that point too in your life? Like, just grow up.
Yeah, grow up.
Grow up, have an espresso martini.
Exactly.
Thank
If
you.
you're over 30, you need to have espresso
Yeah,
martinis. 100%.
I mean, the only one and only time I had a Jaeger bomb, I was like 16.
Yeah, when I was doing this, it was like 21. There was a place in Canberra, my hometown, that would do an hour of power. And when I was young, before they changed it a couple of years later, when I turned 18, it was $1 drinks for the hour, between 10 and 11. So you just get... Fight yourself
You
to
just
the
get
bar,
plastered.
and you just slam your forearms down on the bar and not move. Put a $20 down in the middle of your forearms, and just get the guy to keep sending you drinks. And that is why they don't do that anymore, because the amount of place.
Oh, I'm sure.
Dude.
That's just a lawsuit begging to exist.
I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it
I'm
happened.
sure that's crazy.
Classic.
Yeah, no, I was a party girl back in my day, and then I turned 21, and I was like, well, it's legal now, so
So boring.
yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of live like a grandma now.
that's
Besides
actually
porn,
good.
I have a very calm life.
Well, I think doing affords us to have a calm life, because you're not
Yeah.
trying to compensate. Like, I was always drinking heavily because I was compensating for a boring 9 to 5,
Yes, that's
and being unhappy in my 9 to 5. I was like straight out of 18. Like, when I was out of school, I was a government worker for like 3 years. Worst government worker ever.
sounds like a nightmare.
Total nightmare. But yeah, I feel like because we have such wild day jobs,
Yeah.
it's actually quite therapeutic to have time off and do nothing.
Yeah.
Be meditative.
Yeah.
Do things you enjoy that aren't yourself up.
Yeah.
Like, I really just despise rotting in bed after a hangover, like after a big night of drinking, unless it's like the best night ever, unless I'm like looking back at the night being like, that was the sickest ever, which
Yeah.
I have had a few of those,
Yeah.
but not many. You know,
Yeah,
of all
most of the
nights,
time I go home like underwhelmed.
yes,
And
and
I'm like, why
why
did
to
I
do
stay
that?
up this late?
And then you like binge eat the next day, and that
I don't mind the binge eating. That like post hangover eggs Benny,
oh yeah, yeah.
crazy.
You're actually right.
To me.
Like, when you are really hanging for something delicious.
I
ooh.
love a good little bingey era.
Yes.
I do. I've been finally gaining a little bit of weight lately. When I first joined the industry, I was like 95 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
could
are
not-
very skinny. Like, you're tall, but you're skinny.
I'm pretty thin, but I feel like I've finally got like a little bit of healthy meat on me.
yeah, you look
My
good.
jiggled earlier.
You
when we
did.
the-
We were doing a little bit of dancing
Yeah,
earlier.
there's a little something.
Yeah, you're looking
So,
good.
It's good, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now it means I have to like work out more, which there's no way I'm going to a gym. There's no way ever in my life I will step foot in a gym. That
Would
is
you
just
do
a
it at home?
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe getting like a set of kettlebells at
Yeah,
home
just
is
a
to
couple
go.
things, you know. Like I
easy.
do my little like floor work that I'm used to from like ballet days, but I would like to have a little equipment. But yeah, there's just I can't do gyms. I'm horrified of staph infection. There's men.
What I'll say
that
is
just sounds like
hilarious.
the worst thing.
What I'll say is hilarious is that, like you were saying before, you're a bit of a germaphobe when it comes to the gym, like worried about the staph infections, but then during the scene, we're like spitting in each other's mouths.
Yeah, it's like I'm a
Licking my sweat off my body.
consensual germaphobe. Like if
Love
I
that.
ask for it, I love it. But like if I'm like sitting on like a bus seat or something, or like on the train,
You're like
I'm just
freaking
like,
out. You're thinking about the bacteria entering your
Oh
body.
my god, yeah, airplanes, like I'm gonna bleach myself and actually like self-immolate when I get home.
Oh, yeah.
Just to like
Airplanes are gross. Like doing a 14-hour flight, I can just tell the air is thick with just people's grossness. It's just
and
recycled
it's so
air.
drying. Oh my god, and I have to fly all the time for work. So I'm just like I feel like I'm constantly just put through the ringer.
Yeah, do you go to like Budapest and all those kind of fun
No,
capitals?
I've been asked to do like a Europe trip. And I'm probably going to do that in 2025. I'm honestly just so lazy about it. And I also want to wait until I'm at a point where, like, I can be trusted to wake up on my own
Of
and
course,
to be alive. Because
yes.
right now, I solely depend on, like, my roommates and my boy toys to,
Like
like
come
wake
in and be
me
like,
up.
hey,
Yeah, I'll call up one of my, like, little rotation and just be like, okay, I have to be up at 8 tomorrow. Can you sleep over tonight?
you have a stable? You have a stable
I
of
have a
dudes?
rotation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My human alarm clocks.
How many dudes would you have in the I call it a stable.
The stable.
But you can
no,
call
my
it
rotation, my
so-
roto.
Yeah, so how many dudes would you have in the rotation?
The most I've had at a time was 8. That was tiring.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Cause then I'm like,
Because if you're seeing them once a week, right?
yeah.
You would have to double up on a day.
Yeah, that's exactly how exhausting it was. Cause then like I would get like 3 texts a day, like come over, and I'm like, now I have to pick, and I'm terrible at picking. I don't like to have favorites, so I would just do all 3, and then be like, I'm done for.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's like 3 or 4 like consistent ones. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's nice. I need that help. I need someone. I need to be like, okay, I need to go to bed at this time. I need you to wake me up at this time, either with or like go to the fridge. Yerba mate is waiting right there for you. You crack that can and just put it under my nose, and I'll
Zing up.
Yeah.
You'll be ready to go.
yeah.
So do you have a thing, like a kink for getting woken
You
up?
know I
with
do.
Yeah, amazing.
You know I do. It totally developed because of my sleep disorder. Like I'm a very person, but I'm a very sleepy person. So I'm like, I want to have but like I just can't necessarily always be conscious for it. So just like me while I'm asleep, videotape it. Maybe I'll wake up, maybe I won't. And
Totally
then
okay.
I'll wake up and I'm like, ooh, is this blackmail? Love it. It's awesome. It's incredible. It's the best way to wake me up because it gets your heart rate going, you know? It's like you're going on a little jog, like right when you wake up. Like it's gonna get you up.
Definitely.
So it totally works. And then that totally got into my CNC thing later, and I was like, oh, maybe I want someone to...
This episode brought to you by BLCKWAVE Supplements. Go to their website, www.blckkWave.com, and get the best supplements known to man.
I actually, funny you say that because I had someone who I don't want to say who it was. I remember who it was now, but she was saying that she went through like a phase where she with her ex-partner where she would literally be like, pour some stuff in like a drink. And,
I would provide it.
Yeah, and be like, I want you to basically me and then like take me to the room and take advantage of me.
I've done that many times. I've gone to parties and I have like specific boy toys for that. Some of them are like, I'm afraid of that. And I'm like, that's fine, that's okay. But I have like some specific boy toys where I'm like, guess what I have? And I'm just like, you can slip that in at any point. I'll just like leave my drink down when I go grab my food or my purse or something, and you're just gonna take care of that. Then we're gonna go home and you're gonna set up a little camera and I'm gonna be like, what's happening? I don't do it often anymore, but I definitely also had like my consensual era, and it's really fun as long as like there are ways to be as safe as you can about it. I'm not gonna be like, get but
Yeah,
But
right.
there are ways that you can be safe about it. Like, you don't mix alcohol with whatever you take. You don't do that. Make sure you're really hydrated. Make sure your partner is like...
Yeah, of course. Like,
And,
all the
yeah.
basics. All the basics.
All the
everyone.
basics, you know? Yeah, I don't do it that much anymore because I just don't necessarily have a lot of partners who are into it, which
Yeah.
is fine.
Which is annoying.
Which is fine. It's fine. I don't hate them for it. But yeah, it was a fun era. And it has to be kind of when I'm like, I have absolutely nothing to do the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going to be...
When you say what is that drug? So hypothetically, if someone, if person A was to someone recreationally,
consensually, lovingly.
yeah, like, because I know that like people who have been actually the next day, they're like, I couldn't move, it wasn't an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I have been unconsensually a couple times too, so now I'm able to tell the difference of because I've been 3 times.
In like real life?
In real life, without me planning it or asking for it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I can actually tell the difference. There's cocktails, and then there's... And I have... The cocktail was the worst. The cocktail was the absolute worst. I think they put, like, in it, too. I just remember, like, I threw up on myself. I couldn't see... Like, I could only see silhouettes and shadows, but I couldn't, like, make out the person's face, and that's horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because I think that's what you people would use for that's a traditional route.
That is the drug.
That's not what you would use recreationally.
No, is the one that I would have like done like recreationally, and it's like you are still conscious, you're still
That's
capable.
the gay drug. That's the
It's
gay drug. Yeah, whenever I talk to my gay friends in Sydney,
Yeah.
they're literally all
Twinks love it.
they
That's
love it.
why I love it.
Like
Buying
G
a
is
twink.
their thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody loves their G. Yeah, no, that one, it's like you're still like conscious and like capable of moving and stuff. It's the most that you'll feel with it is like you're really drunk. Like, and then if you do too much, you'll fall asleep, which has totally happened to me a couple times. I'm like, oh, bedtime.
Yeah.
I've totally done that at parties too. There are some parties where like it was like in a controlled space where I was like friends with everyone there. I knew everyone there, and I was like, I'm gonna do this tonight. And then I just like conked out, and they like put me in my little bunny outfit in bed, and we're like, good night. And then I woke up an hour later, and I was like, let's go.
You were ready to roll again?
Yeah, I was ready to rage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an era for me. That was an era. I haven't really done it lately. Mostly because I don't live in the same house where I used to like do it with those people, because there was always a supply.
Okay, yep, gotcha.
And they were partiers. They loved to party. So I was like, well, might as well if I'm here.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
good to have friends like that when you're in your 20s because it's nice
Yeah.
not to have to pay for your
Yes.
You know, that's
that's
very nice.
so true.
right?
That's so true.
Now, speaking of snorting things, can you tell me what's it like to snort?
Every time is a little bit different. It also depends on what you snort it off of, I've noticed.
Should we start this by like telling everyone like what it is? Like you've got this thing where you snort dudes. Right?
I have this thing where I like to do the worst things I can think of with I don't want a normal pop shot. If it's not a I'm going to get a little weird with it.
Okay.
So the first time I had him plate, and I cut a straw really short, and I made little lines. I snorted it. I blew it back out, cleaned my gums, because I was really nervous of getting a sinus infection.
Oh,
so
right.
I blew it back out, and it was like, and that was an era. And then the second time I did it, they got really excited on set hearing about it. So they were like, let's do it. So they actually gave me they went full 70s, gave me a mirror, a razor, and then a straw. So I had the mirror, I had the razor blade, I made my lines, did my straw. Yep, whole thing. The third time was again on set. It was for my clown scene. First time being a clown, I was not myself that day. I turned into whoever the that clown person was. That was not me. I responsibility for traumatizing people. Yeah, they put me in that clown makeup, and I saw myself, and I was like, okay, well, here's the day. It was like a whole new persona that happened. Something took over me.
Terrifying.
So at that time, I didn't have any of my equipment. And equipment, I mean, I don't actually do because it just makes me wish I had math homework. or like I want to sweep.
I think that's
the only
the
times I've
ADHD
tried
in
it.
us.
Yes,
I'm the same. It
yes.
just makes me feel focused.
The
and I'm
only
like,
times I've tried it, I'm like, I wish I had my Sudoku book with me.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't do it.
Usually I've only ever had it. Like, I never buy it myself. Whenever like a mate's like, here, have some.
It's offered.
And
yeah.
it's usually, when back in my party days, I would be high on at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, and it would totally kill my MD. So I learned very quickly.
Just
Anyone at
wasn't your
home,
thing.
hypothetically, if you're high on do not have
Yeah, do not do
because
it.
will allegedly kill all the other drugs and just make you focused.
Damn.
Especially if you got ADHD like me. I just feel like I feel locked in. I could do my taxes while I'm on
Exactly.
cocaine.
Yeah. So I'm just like, why would I want to do this when I'm like out with my friends?
Exactly. I wonder what normal people feel when they're on.
I watched Wolf of Wall Street and I was like, that is not what I get.
No.
That is not how I feel.
Right?
Yeah. So, but the third time,
Yes,
I think they in me, and then I pulled it out with my hand and then snorted it. I think I did it before too in another scene. I can't remember. Oh my God, the most recent time was the kink scene with Tommy Pistol. I was like, let's get weird. And this one I'm tied down, so I couldn't do the whole thing. So instead he pulls out a me, comes up to my nose, puts his in my nose, and he's like, now! And I just start, and oh my God, I did not expect, because I think he was a that day, like it was just going, and I was hard because I didn't know what to expect, and I think that's still in my brain.
My God, so he literally injected into your nose.
Literally couldn't even breathe. I couldn't snort it back out because I always blow it out after, and I'm like, okay, not gonna get a sinus infection. No, I got a sinus infection.
Did you?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't. But I swear. I swear to God, it was insane. It did not come back out, and I was like, I'm.
Did it not go through to the back of your throat? Like
no, that's the thing. I think maybe a little bit, but no, it did not go there. It went somewhere else.
You've got some tadpoles growing in
They're
your nose right
literally
now.
swimming around.
In your brain.
They're like, it's cold and dead up here. There's nothing happening. Yeah, I don't know. It was.
Whose idea was that to snort?
Obviously mine.
Of course.
It's always
Right.
my idea. Same with the eyes thing. I'm like, force my eyeballs open and my eyeballs.
That's so funny.
I know. I totally would have done it today, but I have to drive home.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
and it's hard to drive when you.
Hey,
come in your eyes.
I'm totally okay with.
So great option.
Yeah. Feel good. It feel good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So another thing that I thought interesting. Did you try and fit Johnny Sin's head in your?
My first time meeting him. Okay, and I've never really watched. I had seen clips and stuff scrolling through Twitter before I even did, but I never watched regularly. I always read my smut, so I didn't. Every time I came across, it was actually the most intense things someone could upload. So I remember seeing some girl eat cereal out of the other girl's. I remember I just remember.
What sites were you on?
It was retweeted onto my Twitter page. I just must have followed some sick back then, and I was like, I'm not talking to you when I see you in class.
Yep.
Not really. I totally would still talk to them because I was like, you're a sick you. But someone had posted this video of I think maybe the guy had a latex cap on, and he literally. I swear this is how I remember it, but sometimes my brain lies, but I swear he put his head in her whole head. She must have just had a lot of
I've seen that
baby.
video. It was
You've seen
it's
it?
a 4-second clip.
Yeah, okay.
Of the dude just red, he has a red as bald head.
Okay, I didn't make this up. This is real.
I've seen it.
Okay.
There was a few videos in high school where it was just GIFs almost.
Yeah.
It was 3 to 5 second clips of my
just
mate.
the weirdest you could imagine.
When I was doing PT, there was a guy called Dom, legend. He would just come up to you and just while you're training someone and just put his phone in front of you, the person training couldn't see. They were doing push-ups or something, and he'd be like, "Mate, can you check this out?" And it'd literally just be a gif of a dude punching his own, fist punching his.
Oh my God,
And you'd be like,
workplace
Jesus,
harassment.
and then he'd just walk off. He'd be like,
Wow.
gotcha.
Love sexual harassment in the workplace.
But actually, that's just dudes though. That's just dudes. Like, that was actually hilarious. Like, I'd be like, literally, he'd probably done that like 30, 40 times. It was always something ridiculous.
The things
got to be like a joke, you know?
That's the things you can attribute to manhood are so interesting to me because I'm like, that is the gayest shit I've ever heard.
Well, there was a dude
you're like,
fisting.
that's just dudes,
There was
man.
a dude fist punching.
We're just
pretty
I'm
gay.
like, bros are gay.
Yeah,
bros are gay men.
Bros do some gay shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I feel like straight men tend to be gayer than actual gay men. And I don't think I'm alone in this experience. Like, I have seen straight men just do the gayest shit.
To play rugby,
And there's
I'll tell
gay
you.
derogatory and gay love. And I'm saying this as a very gay woman. I'm like, I am gay derogatory towards these straight men. I am derogatory calling you gay for being the straightest men that do the gayest I've ever seen in my life. It's crazy.
If you play a contact sport,
Oh my God, yeah.
like ice hockey or rugby
Oh
or
my
football, and you get like all those dudes after a big win, all on the drinks.
You're just slamming on each other.
Well, I mean, maybe not slamming on each other, but like there's a lot of dude love going on in that in that bar.
You're like, oh hey bro, and you like finger each other's butt. I'm just like, what?
Once again, not quite, but pretty much. Figuratively, absolutely. So let's get back to Johnny Sins lubing his head up and sliding inside your.
Right, so that's my first. I also snorted his. That was what I was thinking. Yeah, first time meeting him, I just realized like we match each other's freak and it's scary. Like I swear, it's like he opened the front door and I'm there and we just like blue-eyed stared at each other and we're like, this is gonna be a problem. And we just immediately were like, so.
Oh, like you're totally into each other.
I just feral. I just like, because I had looked him up. I didn't know who Johnny Sins was. I did not watch. The way that I had recognized Johnny Sins was this meme.
Oh, him holding his hands, like, yes.
That's the only time I'd seen this man.
Classic.
I had no idea what I was going in for.
Just him, like, with his
Yeah,
hands together, like.
Yeah.
Hey.
So he reached out to me, and I was going to Vegas anyways for AVN that year, and he reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll work with him. He has like a of followers, like he's not ugly,
good.
like I'm fine, yeah. So I showed up and then we were both like just like and I was like, oh my god, wait, this is gonna be consistent problem that we're gonna do. So yeah, it's our first time. He was like me out and like we were just going at it with each other. It was so slobbery. Within like the first 5 minutes I'm like covered in and he's like, he has my thighs in his hands and like that just like flashed in my eyes and I was like, I want you to put your whole head in my.
That would f me up. If a girl literally looked down at me while I'm eating a.
Well, you're not bald.
And the words were, well, even if I was, and the words were, this feels so good. They were like, you know what? I want you to put your whole head in my. I'd be like, whoa! I don't know. I wouldn't know if I'd be able to keep it together.
He's the only person I feel like someone could ask him that, and he's like, let's try.
I feel like he's a consummate professional.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he
That's
was
hilarious.
like,
He was just
try
like,
it.
looked up at you and went, you know what? Yeah.
Lubed up my I did,
Yeah.
but it's just this hilarious clip of him, like, literally, he's not even really moving his head that much. He's mostly just lifting my thighs up and down my. He's just like.
That's so funny.
And it's just this, like, 15-second moment of him just, like, lubing up his beautiful bald head. So, yeah, that was a friendship that has just continued to stay. I think we've done, like, 5 scenes together now.
And he's an athlete. Like, I always knew he, liked to but it wasn't until I'd spoken to and worked with multiple girls that he's worked with that are like, yeah, he like 2 hours straight. Like, literally didn't take a break. 2 hours, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Like, I had to tap out because it was like blowing my mind. You know, like every girl I talked to was like, yeah, marathon man.
And Marathon Man, I've done 2 rounds with him once in a day.
Yep.
And that was like, I don't even think it was probably safe for me to drive home at that point because I was just like,
just out of your mind.
Like no thoughts, done
Brilliant.
for. It was awesome though. I love Johnny. He is, and I'll say that to literally everyone. I will always praise that man. and I hate men, not really, but you guys scare the shit out of me. But if
Valid.
I'm ever gonna be like, oh, this is the best person to work with, like, you'll be safe, you'll get what you need, it's him. I highly recommend.
Yeah. I've never heard a bad word about the guy.
Yeah, no.
Literally never.
Literally.
Yeah.
Great.
And people are savage in this industry about dudes. And
Oh my God,
for someone to be in industry that long and not have a single bad word against him.
Yeah, like, you have to be top notch. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
So it couldn't fit the head in there. That's a shame. But that is, like, kudos to you, Johnny, for just being like, you know what? Let's do it. We're going to try it.
Yeah, I was really proud of him that day. I've given him a couple firsts, which makes me feel like it totally boosted my ego.
Yeah.
I got him really into side of he'd never done that before. So the second time we worked together, I was like, you're gonna side of me today. And he was like, I've actually never done that. And he's like this little giggle. And I'm like, we're gonna do it. So like literally anytime I see that man, I'm like, do you have to go to the bathroom? And he's like, yeah.
It's like, I got a right for you.
Yeah, because when he would stay in LA, he was like 10 minutes away from me. So I was just
perfect.
like, you hold that, you wait that 10 minutes and I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a great feeling. Have you ever side of someone?
No, I'll be honest. I have on someone, but never in them.
Would you be interested? It's an incredible feeling.
Well, if someone, I feel like it's not something that I would pursue myself, but
if someone was
if
like,
you today were
it.
like, hey, I've got this thing where I love people side of me, I would totally.
Okay, so
You
we're
know what I
gonna
mean?
do that at some point.
Okay,
I
done.
love it. I from both parties, it feels amazing.
Can I ask, so I find it difficult to while I'm hard, so I'm assuming...
Hard.
Okay, so I was
hard.
going to say, I'm assuming you have to be in like a...
Yeah,
more...
just hard enough to get it in, but soft enough to be able to...
Right.
Yeah, but it feels amazing on both ends, because for me, it's like I'm just getting filled up, and there's all this pressure and tightness in me, and then the release is like a giant at that point. And then for you, it's like you're literally just having not only the pressure of my walls, but then the pressure of the like just like so tight on your dick.
I'll be honest, that sounds awesome.
It's amazing. I highly recommend.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Yeah, next time.
Next
Let's
time.
do some like vag piss.
Plans.
Well, our food is literally 2 minutes from being here, so I don't want to get too far into any more tangents, but we are going to come back after we eat. We got some sick Brazilian food coming.
Yeah, we did. I put him on.
Yeah, she did. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, let's come back to this. See you
right.
soon, guys. All right, we're back. We just ate Brazilian, and it was delicious.
It's so good.
You really did put me on. You really did put me on. That was delicious.
It just made me like sleepy.
Yeah, it's a bit like
I feel
that,
like
hey?
I just had Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, we smashed it. That's how you, like we were just saying, that's how you know it's good, then when you just, there's this silence.
Oh yeah, we were just like
Yeah.
the whole time. It was awesome. I think you tried to ask me like one question, and I was like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. No answer. Can't talk. Food.
No.
Yeah, yeah. So, what's the difference between on-set for you and bedroom? Do you have things that are off limits, like in your work life that you do in your personal life, or does it look much the same?
Pretty much the same, but like offset sometimes there's more chemistry. Sometimes on set there's a lot of chemistry and it's unexpected, and that's awesome.
This episode brought to you by My OnlyFans. It's an amateur's paradise. Hundreds of girls and me. Get 50% off your first month at www.onlyfans.com/theapolloshow.aus. See you there.
I have had like one time where I was getting and I did, so I guess yeah, it can feel good, but for me I guess the pain is more. I've also like never like stretch out or anything before, so I guess that's it. I'm more like spit and shove, baby.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, that makes it a little bit more uncomfortable.
For me, the reason I enjoy it is because it's like painful, where I'm like, oh, use me, ouch.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's a really good way.
Ouch. I know it is.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that does make sense, as it'll be like a lot more confronting for sure. But if you wanted to make it less confronting, I mean, training good idea.
She
but
does just open up. I don't even know if you noticed, but like sometimes when I'm just having she's like, feed me. And I can't control her. She has a mind of her own. I always have to be on set and like we'll like be like, okay, it's And I have to like turn to the partner and I'm like, look, she's gonna lie to you and say that she wants it. She is a lying Don't listen to her.
Don't put it in my...
Don't do it. Don't even look at my... It's not true. She's cute. Look at her.
It's a nice...
She's cute.
That's where I was looking during back shots today.
Yeah. She's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you're a bit of a writer. You want to write a novel? Is that right?
Oh, how'd you hear that? Oh, I told you that.
Did you?
Did...
No.
How did you know I wanted to be...
I did a bit of research.
What?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow, I do. I've been working on a little... I've been cooking. I've been cooking up something.
Lay it on me.
Kind of based on something that I experienced, but then it goes into the fantasy of what I wish I did and what I wish happened. So it really is just a way that I work through some trauma that I have, and honestly, just how I wish I had the capacity to kill a man.
All right. Okay.
Well, I think I have the capacity to kill a man, but I don't think I can get away with it. I don't
So
know.
is this kind of like
is
it kind of like a Stephen King style?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit of Otessa Moshfegh, a little bit of Chelsea G. Summers. I really love her. Really, I mean, the best way I can describe it is like a trauma dump and then girl revenge.
Yeah.
Girl revenge. I am titling it Potassium because I found like very interesting ways of dying, or at least the ways that I think are really cool to die. For me, I would prefer hypothermia because you just like fall asleep and have a little dream. But I thought it was really interesting that you can have a potassium overdose and it looks just like a heart attack in an autopsy. So I was like, that is an incredible way to assassinate someone. Yeah.
Back when I was doing personal training, I did a seminar once where they were talking about a way to lower your blood pressure in a healthy way is to have like a very small amount of potassium, like, and supplement with potassium. It brings your blood pressure down. But if you overdose on it, they took it out of the syllabus because if you overdose on it, you can stop your heart.
And you know gym bros love to overdo it sometimes.
Gym bros can be...
Gains!
Yeah, gym bros can be...
And they have like a heart attack.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, so that is the title. And it's,
awesome.
That's that.
Have you started writing it? Like it's all...
I have. I started writing it last year. I think it's, for me, I'm a very manic writer. Like, I feel like I find myself only writing when I'm like, I am going to blow up if I don't do this right now.
Yeah.
So it's...
So you use it as almost like journaling.
Yes, almost. And I feel like that's when, like, the right words come to me is when I'm, like, so severely just like, I'm fucked. So it is one of those projects that's going to take me a long time because it's something that I feel so much passion and anger and just like violence towards. So it's like one of those things where I have to like genuinely be in the headspace to even like portray it the way that I want it to be read. So yeah, I don't even know if that's ever going to be a thing, if it's ever going to be finished, if it's going to be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, if I'm going to like die before I finish it and they just like Stieg Larsson my shit, throw it out there. And
that's usually how art goes. You usually get famous for it when you die.
When you die, yeah.
But I mean, it sounds like, to me, it's a way to work through... Like it's almost like a therapy to you rather than a structured novel writing experience.
Yeah, no, it's not something where like I sit down for 3 hours a day and work on my writing. Like, no, it's something that like I'll remember something or I'll get triggered or something and then I'm like, okay, time to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started even writing it in the first place because, like, my best writing always has been when I'm, like, completely scrambled and, like, somehow I'm able to lay everything out perfectly writing, whereas, like, even talking about it, I can't do it. But I just remember, like, calling my therapist one day and I'm like, I'm gonna kill someone. And he's like, no, you're not. Write something. And I was like, okay, fine.
Like, fine, I guess.
I was like, are you sure? You sure about that? But, yeah. But I also think it would be really cool to write for comedians, like for a skit show at some point.
Oh.
I would really like to work with you, Tim Robinson. Please let me in.
Tim Robinson,
just a
make
crumb,
it happen.
just a little piece, please.
Well, you are very funny. You are very
Thank
funny.
you.
I'll give you that. I think
Thank you.
Writing sketch comedy is something you could do.
Yeah, Tim Robinson. If you don't give me a job, I'll kill myself on this podcast right now.
You hear him? I think he heard you. He's going to give you a job.
better. Or else you're about to have a really bad evening.
But yeah, that's sounds very much like a cool little outlet as well. Like, I don't know, I've always been interested in like comedians, and like I think it's very brave to actually do like not just sketch comedy, but to do actual comedy.
Stand up
Would be horrifying.
God. I cannot imagine. Like, I can show my whole to the world. And, like, I was talking about this actually on Twitter with a friend. Like, they were like, you can, like, do but you're afraid to do stand-up. And I'm like, okay, I'm showing my to the whole world where they're watching it from screens and I'm not looking at their faces, at their reactions to my but I'm on stage in front of, like, 10 people. If it was 100 people, it'd be easier almost. But 10 people? And they're like, it's silence? Like, I'll kill myself. I'll kill myself right there.
I think the difference with like stand up and is that like the way I would think of it in my head is stand up's only bad when you're bombing. So like if I was to go up and someone was to say, here's like 10 minutes of material, you know it's going to be good, you know where the hooks are and where the punchlines are, and it's going to be great, I would have no problem. I'd be way more confident. But it's when you like just think about, you go up with that same material, then nothing hits. There's no laughs. You can hear people like snickering in the back, laughing at you, not with you. And the only thing I can think of when it comes to like is like if I'm like a dude and not being able to get it up.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of just staring at you, being like, "So, got some time here."
Well, that's like, it's almost like if you're on stage as a comedian and you bomb that it's like almost, I would say it's the equivalent of like yourself on set. And it's not even anal. That's also my biggest fear. I have a major fear of, like, literally imagine how embarrassing. It's different. Like, things happen. But imagine having vaginal only and you still manage to yourself on a person. That is I clench my all the time when I'm now.
That's so funny.
Gapes, and I'm just like, oh, what is she planning? So then I hold it in, I'll hunch my back and like cat dog so my it's weird.
Well, do you do a lot of like
yeah. So it almost feels like it's filling up both.
Totally. Like if you're dealing with like have you before?
No, but I've pretty close equivalent.
Right, got you.
Yeah.
So like if you've got like a 10-inch 13. Dick, if you got a 13-inch dick inside you, that's going to feel like it's filling up every cavity. Right?
Deep, baby. It's insane. Okay, I will share
that is insane.
Really embarrassing moment with
please,
you
please.
because I feel so vulnerable with you right now.
Great.
I totally have myself.
Really? On set?
Not on set. Well, just like having normal person. I was not eating well that week. I was just a total mess. I had been like partying, like all of my loosey-goosey. And I didn't. I think my tummy was a little upset, and I just like totally myself, and I don't even think that the guy noticed. He's also tripping. At one point, he's like and picks me up and then is like carrying me to another room while we're. I'm like, my does not feel like her usual self. And I like see in the mirror while he's back and I'm like, oh, and I'm just like, oh my God, it was so bad. So he like, I don't know how I'm gonna do. I was like, I have to. So then I like went to the bathroom, like cleaned my up, and then was like came back out. And
so
hold
on.
I looked at the bed. There was nothing on the bed. There was.
So it was when he picked you up to walk you out to the other room that he was just like walking you out, and you were just dropping bombs along the way.
I didn't even go anywhere. It was only on me, only on my.
Oh, so you were like, you must have been turtlenecking. You must have just had like one just poking its head out. That is so funny.
So bad. And I don't think he noticed. Like, I think he was already in his own little mushroom world.
Oh, dudes don't care. Like when
he was gonna either way, and I was gonna make sure of that so he could forgive me for myself. But I don't think he noticed. He never said anything. He's a really nice person, so maybe he's just like being kind. But like, I can't look that man in the eyes whenever I see him.
He probably just thought you. He's like, meh, whatever.
Maybe I didn't smell it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But if he ever sees this video and he's like, yeah, she's self, please just tell me.
Text me and tell me, okay?
Please tell me if you know that happened. Because at this point, it's the fact that I don't know that he knew or not that, like, that's tearing me apart.
Classy, you should ask him. Just for your own peace of mind.
Totally too when I was getting up from that. I was like...
Just them?
Yeah, because I think my like, I think
she's talking about me again.
I'm so scared. Yeah, biggest fear.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, imagine bombing on a comedy stage while you're getting and yourself all at the same time. Like, that's how I imagine it would go.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. I totally do practice my sets in the shower, like, all the time.
Like comedy sets? That's so funny. What do you talk about?
You know, like when you're like in the shower and you like fake fight someone, or like you have like a rap battle that you're doing really well in, or like
I don't do any of those things. Yeah, totally. Like totally rap battling. Like I'm on 8 Mile.
I always like when I'm in the shower. That's my top like romanticizing time. That's when I'm like I'm winning every argument I've ever had. I'm backtracking all of the embarrassing things that I did, and I'm making it better. Like that is what I do in the shower. So in the shower, I practice.
It's reflection time. Reflection.
Yeah,
time.
it's reflection time, but it's my betterment time.
Is it self-reflection time in a good way, or is it self-reflection time like I'm an idiot? Damn it!
Like that.
Or is it like, yeah, I would have probably done this differently, and why did it make me feel that way though?
No, that's
you know
for therapy. No, the shower time is when you're like stupid. Like that is how I do my showers.
Yeah,
that's why I take really long showers. Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, when I'm feeling like really high ego, that's when I'm like, the crowd loves me right now, and it's like the ant that's like dead in the corner. I don't know. Yeah, so that's how my comedy career is going so far.
Well, you know what? If this podcast is anything to go by, I think you'd be a natural doing comedy because you just don't care about being silly, and I love that.
No, I really
don't. That's half the
don't.
battle, is not caring about being silly.
I think that really is it. I will say though that I mean, I was telling you this, like, I'm terrible at filtering myself. And I love to make my little jokes, but I also will take it too far without, like, really realizing it. So, like, I'll really run with something, and then they're like, we should actually, like, publicly stone her. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to run my mouth a little too far at some point. Like, I swear I'm not a bad person. I'm just going to say exactly what is coming out of my mouth, and I don't know.
You just like to prod the bear a little bit, would you say?
Yeah, I think
Do you ever do, like, I don't know, like, there are people online that do, like, rage baiting where they purposefully try and push buttons. Have you ever tried that?
I hate those people.
Oh.
I would say if I were to, like, be mean on the internet, it's simply to, like, bully someone who deserves to be bullied. Like if I have a troll and I'm like, oh, I know I could just, like, end his life with 3 words, then, like, I might.
Yeah.
I might. I'm trying to be better at it.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, yeah, I hate the rage baity girls. I'm like, if anything, like, you should be funny. Like, if you're just gonna be an and not be funny about it, there's redeeming qualities in being a funny
Definitely.
which I feel like I can be at times, and I think that that's a good thing. But if you're just gonna be a and there's, like, no, like, hook, line, and sinker, like, you're just being a dick, and no one wants to see your at that point.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think it's a very dangerous line to run. Like, if you're doing stuff that's not solo, then, like, no one's gonna work with you.
No, I mean that, you know, we've seen how that's happened, and, like, I literally brought it up to my agent one time, and she's like, oh yeah, she's banned from working with any of my models. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's like you really are just, like, excluding yourself from the only people who could ever understand what your life is like. And now you're just, like, completely ostracizing yourself from any type of community you could have had. Yeah. Which is dumb.
It's hard out there for people to get traction, and then they go to these, like, low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I'm like, if you can't make money without being, like, a piece of then, like, maybe this isn't for you. And that's how I feel about a lot of people in this industry, because I feel like nobody has a backbone a lot of the time. I feel like every once in a while something happens where everyone's like, yeah, let's get together and stop working with these terrible people and really advocate for each other. And then it's, like, right back, and you, like, see that same working with that same piece of You're just like,
Do you think it is
Are we gonna move on?
pressure from the agents and pressure from the companies for those relationships to continue?
I would
Because
say...
I often think that too. Because like you see, like, not naming anyone, but like you see videos of girls like tapping out constantly, and then that person's still a contracted person for these companies, and you're like, how does it actually, like, how does it compute when, like, I know there's a lot of like people in industry, girls in industry who are like, I'll never work with that person again. But like when it comes to like the business, is there like certain pressure from the people who run your accounts or run, like, you know, the agencies, or, you know, do they say, is it like, if you don't want to work with someone, no problem at all, we'll make that not happen? Or is it like, this guy sells videos, work with him, or you don't get the job, someone else will?
Maybe depending situationally, I think it's a mix of your own standards for yourself, and then as well as the pressure from companies and your agent. Luckily, my agent, I'm like, I have 140 million names on my no list. Let's deal with that. And she's like, okay, these people. I'm like, we just don't do that. But I imagine that there are a lot of agents out there who are really pushy and are like, you're not going to have a career if you don't do this. I haven't experienced that personally, but I don't think that it doesn't happen, because I have heard of terrible agents who, you know, there's just no going back with those people. But I
think that's kind of adult industry in general attracts like a bunch of
just who are just,
it's a great way to put it,
and can't do it without like hiring them
at
that point. And they're like, well, here's a loophole, let me just have control over them in this aspect. But I also think, like, my big problem, because I know that sometimes it's like we don't necessarily have the means to keep track of these things without someone handling it in the background with, like, some Telegram group or, like, a spreadsheet. Like, I've made my own little spreadsheet just for myself of being like, okay, here's why I won't work with this person. Here's what they did. Like, you know, and like, I'll share that with like some newer people so that like when you come into this industry, no one warns you of those names except for another performer. Like, I came in and I worked with plenty of people who had allegations and just like bad experiences and stuff. And I had no idea. And I'm sure that it hurt some models and stuff, but like, it's this thing of like, no one tells you when you go in. No one tells you anything going into things. I didn't know you're supposed to scene. Like,
it's all very gate-kept.
It's very gate-kept information to an extent, but I think there are like there's a lot of women in the industry now who are like really pushing to have this information out and like making the newer people aware of it and like just trying to train each other to like keep ourselves safe. But I will say my biggest beef is with like the content creators who like still, you hear all these terrible things about these terrible men, and then these content creators are like, well, he has 1 million followers, and then like, you know, it's like, I feel like so many people are like, yeah, I have a backbone, but name your price. And then,
well, may I also put it out there, do what you got to do, but a lot of these like content, they're just not making them that much money. So when opportunities come their way, it's like, it's hard. It's hard out there to have a backbone when you're not making the big dollars.
Oh, I totally understand that. Yeah. I have scenes that I'm not proud of doing because I was like, well, I have like a very expensive amount of rent to pay and all this debt and blah, blah, blah. So like, I have that, but I've never been like, oh, I'm going to work with this known serial thing. Because, you know, like, there is a limit, and I think you can find other ways to get by without working with the worst of the worst. And it's the people who have money, so much access to money, and anyway, they could just make one reel and they're fine. And they still choose that route. I think there's like still a good amount of those types of people, this very cutthroat, like, well, I'm not the one bleeding, so, you know. Right. So that's my biggest issue with this industry that I really hope changes, but the content creation has kind of made it worse than I feel like it might have been before. I don't know, because I wasn't here in mainstream porn before content.
Yeah, so gotcha.
It could have been so much worse then. I don't know.
I always thought that content creation made mainstream less powerful over the girls. It made
That's
the gone are the producers who just happen to have a bedroom in their office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
want to work with us, you gotta show me what you can do. That kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like that doesn't happen as much anymore because the girls have money. They're actually
Yeah.
making money
Yeah.
doing this stuff privately, as well as giving you the privilege to have them work on your set. Whereas before it was like, if I don't get booked 4 times this month, I can't make my rent and I
Yeah.
can't feed myself and
Yeah.
possibly my family.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? So
it had so many pros and so many cons at the same time, because now it's almost like there's, again, men who like can't get realized because they're pieces of shit. They're like, oh, I'm gonna be a content creator, and then like they just finagle their way in, and it's just a show from there because they don't know anything about consent or just respecting a person or any of that. So then that just leads to people getting traumatized. But at the same time, you could also be like a model in mainstream and be like, you know what, and then make solo content and be just fine, if not better. So it's just this weird mix. It's this weird mix. But I do think it's nice that now performers don't have to directors get a scene so that they can feed their dog or something, you know?
yeah, totally.
Yeah, so.
Pros and cons for sure.
Pros and cons.
And there's always going to be
Sex
similar
work
to the.
we're not decriminalized. We don't really have.
Yeah, it's a non-regulated industry, and where there is a non-regulated industry, there is going to be trying to take advantage of that and the people in it, and especially when it has to do with hot chicks and like, you know, if you were like, hey, there's this like amazing industry where there's like these women who are really good at and super hot, and you can finagle your way in there in some capacity, either as an agent, a booking agent, or a OF. What do they call it?
OnlyFans management teams.
OnlyFans management, or
God.
or as a content creator. But in saying that, I think it's much harder to get to a level where you're able to really do some damage as a male content creator without everyone kind of knowing. Because one thing I know about this industry, it is very small industry worldwide, really.
Yeah.
And if someone starts popping off about someone, like especially in America, like, 'cause I follow all
We
like,
talk.
Yeah, I follow everyone, and as soon as it starts popping off, like it's almost like it's like a beacon to everyone around us. So it's like it's not like and no one's like quiet about stuff. There's a lot of people who
Now, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like before people were kind of quiet about it, and then I feel like in the past, at least for me, like, because I had come out about something a year ago, and I feel like I started picking up on, like, it kind of, at the time, I mean, it snowballed into everybody was talking about everything, and it was beautiful, actually. There was, like, this harmony with every woman in the industry where we were like, yeah, actually, we all
hate that guy.
yeah. Okay. But there's always just that, like, weird quiet before the storm still, where, like, a model experiences something bad and then they're so afraid to come forward because no one else has. Or, you know, and so then there's just that silence for, like, 3 months where they're just, like, holding on to that pain and resentment and almost resenting the rest of the industry because, like, no one noticed or, like, came to them, or they're still working with that person, but nobody knows. And then there's that time where they say something, and then 13 other girls say something. And it just, every time. There's not one man who gets, like, just one allegation and that's it. There's always more people coming forward, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that was me too.
Yeah, totally. And you girls are in a lot of, like, girls groups online where, like, you'll get on and be like, worked with this guy, he was safe, he was awesome. Or worked with this guy, terrible hygiene. Yeah. Didn't respect my time.
Pooped to the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh my God, is there a group chat about me? And they're like, she herself.
That's right. It probably is. Probably a group chat, dudes chat out there somewhere where they're like, boys, need to tell you something.
Like, oh, that's Miss
Yeah, exactly. Nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah, some boys chat out there is still referring to you as stinky.
Yeah, 100%. No, for real. I'm so But yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a good amount of women in the industry that really try to keep each other safe, and I have so much love for them.
Yep.
Because every time I'm thinking about a collab with a guy, I like look their name up, and I'll go on Google and be like, this name, allegations.
Great.
And I'm like, oh, nothing's there. Nobody said anything in the group chat. We're going for it. Yeah.
Great.
Then I'll leave a nice little review.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Please do.
I'm gonna be like, he's so sweet, great hair, sweaty.
Yeah, perfect. Delicious,
Yeah.
hydrated. Yeah. What does the future look like for you?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna...
Besides star novel writer.
Yeah, no, I'm saving up as much as I can for that era because I know I'm not gonna make shit. I mean, writers don't make shit unless you're like J.K. Rowling, and nobody wants to be her.
Well, I mean, you never know. Like, if this turns out to be like a 10-year
Yeah.
book, like that takes you 10 years to write, and it's a legit... It sounds like that Stephen King book where the guy gets picked up on the side of the street. I can't remember exactly how it goes. I haven't actually seen it. I've only heard about it. But it's like where the chick picks up the dude who's a book writer and nurses him back to health. And she's a big fan of his and ends up like locking him up and then breaking his legs. And
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, there's this book I recently read like last year that I still love to this day. And it very much is that like, girl power, murder. And it's A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. Love her. And she wrote just like the most tasteful way of just like a female serial killer. I would love like a tribute to Aileen Wuornos or something, if you know who that was. She was a worker who murdered a lot of clients back in her day. She was sentenced to death.
did she do it because they did something to her? Or
Yes.
was she... Alright, so she wasn't like malicious for no reason.
No, it was like, she was like, I know you're a piece of shit. We're gonna take you out back and old yeller your shit.
So what'd she do? How'd she do it?
Oh, I don't know that much.
Okay,
I don't know that much.
I'm always
For
interested
me.
about real serial killer stories
Yeah,
and how they did it.
I know, I want to do some more research on her because I'm just like, God, she must have been like tortured at that point to get to that point. But
Yeah.
the Chelsea G. Summers is this woman who is like kind of a food writer, like a food critic writer, and she accidentally kills a boy toy and then his liver is visible and she's like, I can make a really good pate with that. So then the whole book is this woman just like killing her lovers in very eloquent ways and then like cooking them deliciously, cooking different parts. She gives this one guy anaphylactic shock and then like cooks his tongue and it's all swollen and it's like thick and chewy like a beef tongue. And she like gives this one guy carbon monoxide poisoning and eats his It's just incredible.
Is this fiction?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just curious because, like, I mean, there's some crazy serial killer stories out there.
There are. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of hot cannibal ladies out there, and if they want a piece of meat, by all means, that is one way to go, and I'll do it.
That's why you're trying to get that meat on your
That's
bones,
why I'm
right?
trying to fatten up. I'm like, Chelsea, girl,
I'm ready. I'm ready
dinner
to
is
do some...
served.
Exactly.
I have like, I tried writing into my will and being like, what if they just like ate me? And they're like, they can't do that. That's not legal. And I'm like, what if I put it in my will? And they're like, still not gonna happen.
Not allowed.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did make it in my will where everybody has to wear like a silly t-shirt to my funeral.
Yeah.
It's kind of a silly t-shirt contest at that point.
Cool.
Whoever has the best shirt gets my ashes.
That'd be pretty funny.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might as well.
Has anything ridiculous besides shit itself? Has anything ridiculous or funny happened during a collab or a scene, like a professional shoot, where you were like, God, that's one to remember?
Okay, other story wasn't me and wasn't a collab, but this is a very memorable story to me, actually with a comedian. I like know a few comedians. Oh God. Okay, so I'm just like hanging out with him, we're chit-chatting. I think I'm start talking about how I love it. And he's like, do you think I have a cute butt? And I'm like, well, you haven't seen it. Like, pull your butt out. Like, let me see. And this man, literally, I kid you not, he stands up and instead of just like pulling his pants down and being like, he like spreads the cheeks. He like grabs that shit. And oh my God, giant dookie, just a log right stuck in between that crack. I have never, ever. I mean, I feel like if you yourself, it's gonna like kind of go in your pants or something. Like that was sticking to him with everything it could.
This is shocking to me.
Right up in his. I didn't say a word.
And you were just chilling.
I didn't say a word.
So hang on. He was just chilling on the couch with a whole in his pants.
Whole in his pants. I'm like, did he know? Was this like a fetish thing?
No.
This is why I could never have with a comedian, because I feel like they have the weirdest fetishes in the world, and I think I'm right.
I think you're right. There's no way I could have a full
and not know.
And then ask
but
hey,
do
you think I've got like a cute and spread my for you with a full
It was
pants?
intentional.
No way.
That
must
was
have been.
so intentional. Because he spread it too. I'm like, I wasn't here. Oh my god. So
That's actually hilarious.
That happened.
And
I've had a
disgusting.
lot of stories. One time I was like, I was having with a guy, and then he was like, yeah, finger my and I was like, I don't usually do this because I know not to trust your kind to have a clean but I'll do it. And I sort of, he must have eaten a granola bar beforehand or something, because it like almost cut my finger in. so I feel like people look at me and they're like, yeah, let's traumatize her with stuff.
That's right.
And
That's funny.
it's heartbreaking because I love.
You must have been not hydrated at all. Just a rock hard.
Ooh, I swear there was like pieces of granola. It was
Ew.
Sharp.
That's hilarious.
It was sharp. It was like a meat grinder in there. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've heard bad stories. Like, I have a lot of friends in industry who do full service, and they talk
The skid marks.
They literally talk about the.
You have to shower before.
They talk about like having
know.
to explain explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go in there. I want you to wash all the main areas: armpits, the groin, the crack. I repeat, the.
And they still don't.
Oh,
I know. I'm.
it's an epidemic of
know
dudes
a lot
not
of
wanting to
full
wipe their
service
ass.
Follow a lot of them, and the stories. I did full service for like a stint, and then I was like, actually, I will literally shoot someone if I have to be in a room with a man for that long. Because I mean, there's a reason they're paying for sex. It's usually not fun.
No, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, cahoots to those girls. I have so much love and respect for you. I wish I could just go around like a Hollywood hotel with a care kit for these girls and be like, I'm so sorry, I love you. It's just like baby wipes.
Yeah, I like to think that a lot of the girls that I know anyway, who do OnlyFans, who have the option with OnlyFans. I'm not talking about survival full service, not at all. I'm talking about the girls that I work with who, have options.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming that I would like to think, actually, that they have mostly good, hygienic, nice clients. But, I'm probably wrong.
There's a few. There's a handful. I mean, I remember one time this client, wanted to make a charcuterie board, and we were chit-chatting, and he puts a little baby pickle in his mouth and then looks at me and just open mouth kisses me with this baby pickle in his mouth. And oh my God, I started to tear up.
Oh,
That was so upsetting. I was like, don't ruin pickles for me. This is all I have left.
No!
Oh my God. Yeah, so f***ed up with what people have to go through because men don't know how to be people.
Yeah.
Horrifying stories.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I feel like we were going somewhere and I lost it.
Yeah, it's gone. I can't remember either.
ADHD.
That's okay. I feel like that was a pretty good tangent anyway.
Yeah, that was important work we did there.
Yeah.
I feel like we helped someone out there to know that they need to clean their ass.
Totally. Boys, clean your Yeah, very important.
Swear to God.
Got anything else you want to talk about before we finish up? Anything else cool happening with you?
Ooh, I just got a hey you text.
Oh, snap. From one of the rotation?
I'm keeping him out of the rotation because
Got to work for the rotation.
I know I'm a catch, but also don't fall in love with me because I to be in love with.
Well, it sounds like you're very good for the time you're with them, and then you're very you focused right now.
Yeah,
which is great.
It's me time.
Totally.
It's me time.
It's your time to shine, baby.
Time. So I'm like, it's not this thing where it's like, oh, let me take you out to dinner. I'm like, first of all, I want to eat by myself and watch my little show. I don't see myself dating people because I honestly just don't want to have to give up anything.
Hey, there is a
I
time
want to be selfish.
There's nothing wrong with being selfish.
Yeah.
And you're like 23 years old, so this is the time to be selfish.
I already had my whole housewife stint. I literally had stepchildren at one point.
Were you married? Did you say that? No.
Kind of.
Right.
I was deeply in love.
Right.
Deeply in love and ready to commit for the rest of my life with someone. And had...
Cute.
Yeah. They were everything. But actually, the person I had stepchildren with, I didn't even marry. I just was like, I guess I'm a mom now and I'm 20 years old. This is great.
How'd you fall into that? Just...
It was supposed to just be like a hookup. And then I come downstairs next morning and he's like, these are my kids. And I'm like... And then I just realized that it was actually a really sad situation where I stayed for the kids because I realized they really needed someone who really able to show them hey, you could build a really good life for yourself. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that they had a lot of people to show them what they were capable of.
That's sad.
And I just didn't want them to get used to having less than what they deserve. So I
very sweet of you.
Stuck around and I was a mother.
For how long?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then finally I was at my last straw, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah,
but
got to get out. Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's inappropriate for me to reach out. They are old enough for I think it's fine, but I'm also just I don't want to overstep anything. But I really do hope that I think I made it clear in the future. Call me. You need anything. You need money. You need a place to stay. Mm-hmm. Anything. Mm-hmm. So I really, really hope that they've held on to that and that they know that I'm around. I'm not changing my number.
Great.
Yeah.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet. I always think people when they do you say you're selfish, but that's a very non-selfish thing to do.
I'm trying to be selfish.
Yeah,
I'm really trying right now. I'm in this era where I'm trying to be a and selfish and just because I feel like you just open yourself up to so much more hurt when you're just blindly trusting people to be good. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I feel like that's me up so many times where I'm okay, now I'm gonna be a
It's you time. It's you time.
It's me time.
And you have to be stern with that. So the rotation, anyone in the rotation who wants to fall in love can. This is your time.
No, don't give me a hey you text.
Yeah,
Grow
exactly.
up. Leave me alone. I'm the worst person ever. I'm really trying to convince people of that. And I'm but I'm really in my head. I'm I have boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to bed at 11:30.
Boundaries are fine. I think if more people had boundaries, we'd have a lot more happy society.
And if we didn't view boundaries as a oh you hate me thing, I feel at least as a woman I was almost taught, or at least society just kind of made me feel me having boundaries made me mean to people. Me not smiling back or opening myself up to conversation with strangers or just being this sweetheart girl. No, I am a person. I don't want to talk to you. I don't think that I owe you this interaction or whatever. It doesn't mean I don't owe people common decency, but I think I feel in my head I always saw boundaries as oh, you're being mean to them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
And that's not how that works.
No.
Me having boundaries is me actually having the kindness to not lash out and stab somebody because they pushed me too far.
Right on. Right on. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's finish it up there, huh? We're done. Tell everyone where they can find
I
you.
know, I'm what did we do? 5 hours of talking out my...
Yeah, basically.
Oh, God.
I'm going to clip that up real nice.
I told the story.
It's the best.
I told the story. Forgive me.
You're forgiven. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Lana Smalls. I'm on Twitter at Lana Smalls XXX. I'm on OnlyFans at Lana Smalls X. I'm on Fansly at Cowgirl. I'm on... That was my first name.
Yeah.
I'm on ManyVids at Lana Smalls. Maybe. I think that's
Okay.
it. My link tree is just Lana Smalls XXX or Cowgirl Cummies. I don't remember. Fuck.
Great.
I'm not good at this.
And we're going to have our video out in the next few weeks, and it was...
Yeah.
So, looking forward to inside you next time.
Yeah. Just no stuff.
Yeah, no
Please.
I will be you.
Please.
So, thanks for coming, everyone.